We should take the axle out just for just to finish it all off. Jason?
Oh,
Oh, that's right. Down below.
you already used it.
Let me throw these back in the way they were, and we're, as said, gonna consult the literature.
So when you're removing a CV axle out of a front diff, a rear diff, or a trans axle, you got like 2 or 3 different types. You have the style that bolts in, and then the cup is separate. The cup with the shaft with the splines on it. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. And then you've got your CV axle like this, where the cup, the shaft, the splines, and the axle are all one piece, even though this is really 3 different pieces. And then you also have your type that has a retaining pin or nut or bolt somewhere on the inside. Requires a little bit further disassembly. Luckily, Mazda has the regular pop in, pop out. There's a C-clip on the end of the shaft, and that C-clip holds the axle in place in a groove inside the rear end. So what we're going to do is take the very tip of our pry bar, go in between the CV axle and the rear end, and just in a jerking motion,
Of course.
yank.
Pop that sucker
And
out.
it just
I pull.
pops.
And
And that's how you remove a CV axle.
that's it.
Burn out these old bushings, because these Miatas, they don't have ball joints on the knuckle connection, and the bushings are replaceable, and we're gonna go ahead and do that to save some cash here. Get fired up.
This is Valvoline. We got this from Napa. This is some Valvoline grease. Now this is Moly fortified gray grease. This is some grease I've never seen before. We're going to try using it today. This is bizarre. It smells interesting. I'm scared to touch it without gloves.
So we're just cleaning these up with a combination of wire brushes and some fine grit sandpaper. You don't really want to scratch the sleeves up too much, but you do want to get them clean.
I am also technically wet sanding, quote unquote, because I'm making sure that this stays wet with PB Blaster as a lubricant. And just wipe it out and give it a quick visual. And what we're looking for here is nice clean metal. And here we see it's not perfect, but this is very, very clean, and you can just cleaning off that raw metal right there. You don't have to worry about it being raw and it rusting, because we're going to be covering it all with grease. A little grease goes a long ways, so you really don't need all that much. And so just about something like that, and then you just wipe it around the edge real fast. It doesn't need to be perfect, it doesn't need to be clean. You're just looking for decent coverage. And then you just, now that it's all greased up, make sure you're putting the right bushing in the right hole, because these are all different sizes as well.
You just line it up, and then you'll feel a little lip, and then you just go in, and squeeze it on in there. And then you're going to go ahead and do the same on the inside. And give it a quick wipe. Lube's very important, ladies and gentlemen. And then you crank that soldier. Perfect. And that's that. Then you're going to want to find the correct inner sleeve. So it looks like I don't know which ones. We're just gonna grab one that looks correct lengthwise. Which I'd say these are good lengthwise. And these fit snugly, not much play. So we know that these are the ones that go with this. Very little grease on these because it's metal. You really don't need all that much. Just a very light, quick coat. Can barely see that there. And we can just take them and insert as such. Oh. There we go. So if one side doesn't work, approach it from the other. And that's both of these inserted, installed, and they're perfect. Very nice.
Well, at this current moment, not today, because we're doing this all on the same night. Right now,
Right now!
at this moment, we are extracting the bolts, the broken bolts for the wheel speed sensor out of the rear spindles, because when we took apart the rear suspension,
These broke off.
these bolts
everywhere.
did not want to come loose.
This is our proof of
And
concept.
here's a look.
We've already done the one, but we've got a little
Here's a look right here.
1/4 inch extractor bit.
We have a quarter inch extractor bit, and all you got to do is hammer it on flush. Now this only works. See here. Let me give you a little bit of a deeper explanation. Here we have an extractor kit. Typically for a situation like this, you would grind it flush, drill it out, and use one of these, but those aren't working for us. So we're going to use one of these, which are actually meant for like hex head bolts that are rounded off. There it is. Hear the thunk? Oh, we fucked up. You gotta hold the head of the ratchet, and I'll hold the spindle for you. Hold the head of the ratchet, keep that shit fucking flush. There it is.
There she goes.
There it is.
Oh.
Look at that. A little percussive maintenance and a fucking extractor bit.
Somehow.
Now I know.
But yeah, that's what it's gonna look like, and then you grab the punch.
Do not.
So we're gonna burn out the spindle bushings. These are the last bushings that we have yet to remove in order to get this white line kit installed.
We got 4 two-piece bushings and 2 of the centering studs, so let's get going. Inner sleeve rubber. That's a piece of rubber right there. Alright, and that is about as clean as I need to get these. Now, same thing as with the lower control arms and upper control arms for the rear. Insert 2 bushings. We're gonna apply a fair amount, but not too liberal amount of grease. Get it nice and surrounded and coated. Coat everything with the excess, including the inside, that way you don't have to put too much on the inside and you can just slide the metal in. And this might take a little bit of persuasion. This is a lot harder than the lower control arms were, I'll tell you that much. Holy cow. There we go. And a fair amount of pressure is required to get these to seat properly. That's rough. Okay. Yeah, just a little bit. See if big hammer work. Big hammer work very, very well. Be very, very gentle though. And as said earlier, I kind of pre-greased mine, so this should slide in relatively easily. Oh.
This guy's a fucking dork.
Bluetooth rotors, man.
I was wondering why my ass was warm.
Oh shit.